You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
What is up, punters and dribblers? Welcome back to Hello Sport Podcast, home of unqualified opinion and unwavering bias. Here for you on a Tuesday. Stop shitting down our throat Masood style. A day late. We had a huge weekend in fucking Perth. It was a transit day. Sure, I mightn't have felt great. Sure, all the comments about me being under the weather weren't far from the mark, but they were also tied into the fact there was a huge fucking weekend in Perth and we had to get home. So, fuck you, and we still turn up on a Tuesday and get to work.
We do. We still turn up on a Tuesday. We rip and we tear. Listen, you're going to get a short one. Why? There's things that we've got to do. We were supposed to do it yesterday. We didn't, and now we have Jess Pox, and that's where the time goes.
It's a short, you know what it is?
That's where the time goes.
You know what you're getting today, punters and dribblers? You're getting a podcast the length of what everyone else does.
20 minutes.
They do these short little dicky pods. We come out here and we grind our dicks to the bone for you, give you long, girthy, true pods. Today it's going to be a little dicky, and that's just the way it is. So...
Don't Masood us.
Don't Masood us.
Not in the mood.
Not in the mood for a Masood.
I'm not in the mood for a Masood. I'm just not. Do I strike you as a man in the mood
for a Masood?
For a Masood? Am I giving off those vibes? You know, I got an itch in me lungs. I got a tickle in my throat that I'm just delaying because otherwise I don't want to put the punter and the dribbler through coughing constantly.
Well, you seem to say it just after I coughed.
Yeah, but I'm swallowing here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing what I can.
Yeah. I can't. And it's no coincidence that I haven't had a goddamn good day in about fucking a week and a half.
No coincidence. Wasn't that interesting?
Well, it was. But it also sounds like something I'd say now that I'm under the weather. So I was almost reticent to even acknowledge it.
But you'd said it before we went.
I know I did. I was like, well, I've been trying to fucking get you to... You'd think as a vitamin baron... I'd be able to have them whenever I want, but it seems like I never have them.
Right, and that's my fault.
Well, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yep. Because you organise like the distribution.
Oh, do I?
You stay in contact with the didistribution channels.
Mate, can I say something? I don't give a fuck if you don't have it. If you want more, fucking message someone and get some. I've got some. Not a problem. Message Mushin.
Well, I thought you were setting up...
You've never once asked me. You've never asked Mushin. You made your bed. You made your bed. You're
I ask you all the time.
You've made your bed. You're
I ask you all the time. You're the man. You're the man who deals with the distribution channels, and I respect you for it.
I'm actually not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Mushin is.
Well, you're my man.
Mushin does. So
you're my distribution man.
You're lying.
No.
You sure? Listen, we're getting off on the wrong foot here. I'm not going to bear responsibility.
No. Listen, it's your fault, and I'm going to. Are any of those?
If you want a hat, I'll get you one.
Are any of those got any in them, or are they all empty?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, we got a big shipment in yesterday.
Oh, yes, cunt. Thank you, Edward.
Don't know if I did that or not.
No, I think you did. You did. Anyway. I had a great fucking weekend in Perth, dude. I had a great weekend in Perth. It's always fun. Shout out to the UFC for having us.
Yes, and also for the seats.
Dude.
Like, I didn't expect that.
I didn't. Of course we didn't expect that. They're the best seats I've ever had anywhere.
We were musing like we could be anywhere. Realistically,
we were like, listen, I wouldn't have been shocked if we were. And listen, not because it's I just was like, I don't feel like I deserve any seat, let alone I'm like where we were sitting. So I was like, we could just be fucking anywhere.
If we got there and we're like a high bay, you would have been like, yeah,
whatever,
they're free.
I'm here to watch bloody people rip into each other. But then as we kept just getting lower and lower and lower, and they're like, keep coming just this way, sir. And I'm like, holy shit.
Well, when we rocked up and they said floor seats on them, I'm like,
there's only one place these could be.
And then they were like, but you've got to go upstairs to gate 5. So I'm like, well, maybe they're not then.
Yeah, maybe it's a
and
bit.
Then you get in, then you walk back downstairs, and you're like, okay.
Oh, I've got my name on my seat.
Yeah, which I didn't notice till the end. I'm like, that's a nice touch.
Yeah.
Well, you had your name twice.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Because that video you put up on the Instagram story, I think it was Dan Hooker getting announced. I didn't think that you'd film that from your seats. I was like,
you thought I
so close.
You thought that I stole a video off like fucking Twitter or some shit?
It took me a while to realise, like, holy fuck, these boys are like 3 rows back.
What do you think of me? You think I'm on goddamn...
Well, I was just as surprised as you were.
I could see the like sweat beating off of bollocks.
Yeah, I know. It was sick. Or like when Kai Kara-France knocked out Steve Ursig and he jumps up on the cage and he's just right in front of us.
Right in front of us. Everyone was jumping up on the ring in our area.
I know. Good dude, because we had a lot of like the family, friends, people. Like I think were around
Kai's boys were further down there.
Drickus' fucking family right in front of us.
2 rows in front of us. 2 rows.
Yeah.
Just elite. So a big shout out to the UFC for everything that you do.
Couldn't love you more.
I've never felt the love quite like that.
No, I know. That was fucking awesome.
One of the great fucking cards as well.
Yeah, it really was.
We luck out every time we go to Perth. That was sick.
Yeah, that was really good. The who for? Oh, well, so it was initially Jing Liang got finished, which was just like again a good start to proceedings. Mm-hmm. And then Ty lost. Obviously, that's disappointing. You wonder what he does.
5 on the trot now.
5 on the trot's a lot.
It's a lot. It's not nothing.
He's not that old. That's the thing. He's not that. He's 30 in heavyweight years, but you're losing a lot.
5 straight is not. You can't ignore that.
It's a fucking lot of losses.
It's a lot. It just is.
It's a lot.
And he
felt bad because we spoke to him before, and you see him interviewed before as well, and you're like, he's like, I need this. I think he sort of almost said as much.
On the way he said it with such like
I need. It's like I know I can't keep losing.
Almost like there's finality about it. Anyway,
who knows? But
Did you hear about the judge that got removed after scoring the Bam fight?
No, but I heard a judge got fired actually, but I didn't know what was.
Because his name's Howie Booth. He scored Bam Bam 30-27, giving 3 rounds to Bam Bam.
Really?
Straight after, because he was meant to judge the Kai Kara Urseg fight, but he was pulled straight after the Bam Bam fight.
He gave Bam Bam all 3 rounds.
All 3 rounds.
Jesus.
I can tell you, having been there, that's not.
That's not what. Did they replace him? Like, do they have spare judges knocking around?
They must have.
They must have.
Not a bad job.
Yeah,
the reserve judge just sitting
Ben
there doing
Cartledge was selected to replace Booth.
That's funny. They must just have people going, nah, fuck that guy off. They could do that a lot more, to be honest. Dan Hooker, that fight was hectic, dude. He was paying $8. $8.15 was him by decision. Gamrot's like he was like an up and comer in terms. He's a contender. I'll just say what he is. Basically, a highly touted fighter in the fucking lightweight division. And everyone was like, "Oh, you're just going to take him down and wrestle and shit." And Dan bloody Hooker set the tone.
One of the scariest, man. Like when we interviewed him before the fight, and I was like, "You nervous?" Like, nah, not anxious, not nervous.
And he's got his daughter there with him. And
I'm like, how though?
But there's like this sweet father holding his daughter's hand, juxtaposed by the fact that he's like, nah, man, I'm not nervous at all. Like, I just want to go in there and fucking rip people. Like, this is terrifying. Like, I just don't have that. I then saw a clip on of Kempy's when he must have been interviewing him before the fights. He was at a Warriors game in a corporate box, and someone was out there lipping up at him from like the opposition. And he went out there with like a full drink and just pegged it in the guy's face. He's like, "Oh man, I'm not a corporate box guy, man. It's probably the last time I'll ever be one." And you're like, yeah, this guy's
someone was lipping up at him. Where? In New Zealand?
Yeah, in New Zealand. So it was like a Parramatta fan. They were at a Wars game. Para beating the fuck out of him. He went and just pegged a drink in the guy's face.
Guy's a fucking specimen.
He's about that life.
Yeah, he is. And he went out there. One of the great wins too. Shit, it was good.
Yep,
unbelievable. Kai Kara France, unfortunately, beat Steve Ursig.
Yes. Unfortunately, but then I'm also like, listen, Anzacs, Aotearoa, and it was a mad knockout. Like, they always talk about that weight division where it's not a knockout division because they're all so tiny. He's got 8, I think, of his 13 fights or something.
Man, when he's like, I got that.
How do you keep doing it? He goes, because I'm Maori, bro.
Yeah. That was good stuff.
Yeah.
Such a good vibe in there.
Yeah.
It's one of the great arenas.
It's a great arena, but I also don't think that anything gets you going, gets people's blood pumping like UFC.
The production value is just insane.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
All the in-between,
the lighting,
the way
they build tension and drama.
But then like in between fights as well, the packages that they play.
Song selection.
Yeah. It was sick. Then the main event, first it's Izzy coming out to this full-on, what I assume was like Nigerian music.
Which was such a vibe.
It was such a vibe. And it also built the tension around like what was sort of a little bit of an etch build-up of like South Africa v Nigeria, the broader Africa. Like, it's just a bit sort of like, bit scat.
Having heard him, what he first said, Dricus, I'm like, I don't know if he said as much in the ring.
No. That was, I agree.
I'm like, I feel like that might have been misrepresented a little bit.
Completely. I completely agree. But it became what it became, you know? Like, I agree. I don't think he was.
That would have been a wig out for him being like assuming that's what he meant, like the way it just deteriorated.
Yeah, because you're like, that's not what I was fucking saying. But I was just saying that I'm like the African champion who still lives in Africa.
Listen.
But then he comes out to the fucking national anthem of South Africa, which
with two Springboks
who beat the fuck out of our boys the night before, which was also a game that we were at.
That was emotive stuff. Powerful.
Yeah, it was. I honestly felt like, from my uneducated eye, that Izzy was winning the fight until he wasn't.
I was talking to someone and they were like, he won the first 2 rounds. Jeff this morning was like, no, Dricus won. Can we get the judges' scorecards up?
Get them up? Yeah, and then I was listening to now also we were enjoying ourselves maybe, I don't know. But like also we don't know what we're talking about. That's probably the most important caveat. Mm-hmm. I was listening to Luke Thomas, and he was indicating as well that it wasn't like just a one-way street there. That Dricus was actually doing the damn thing.
Let's see what the scorecards say. But Izzy just seemed to lose a little bit of discipline or something, and then all of a sudden, bang, finds his back done.
I feel like
so quickly.
I feel like after the Pereira fight with Izzy, it's now like knowing that he can get knocked out. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Anyone's always only one punch away. Like it was one where and we even said before, like I didn't know who I was going for because we interviewed Dricus. He was a good dude and we have nothing to do with Izzy. So there's like, other than the fact that we just enjoy him as a fighter over the years, you appreciate what he's done. So it's a bit like, I don't fucking know how I feel about this whole thing.
Scorecards were a bit all over the shop. Like the first judge had Dricus winning the second round and Izzy 1 and 3. Second judge had Dricus winning the first 2 and Izzy the third. And the third judge had Dricus winning rounds 2 and 3. And
Dricus was ahead.
So Dricus was ahead, split decision on 2 out of 3 cards.
Interesting.
Going into the fourth.
Interesting. He Izzy can make you miss because he's so evasive and he's long. So, like, you're potentially seeing Dricus miss a bunch and then Izzy landing clean shots where that sort of informs a lot of your opinion. But then he's just always still in your face. He can take a punch, Dricus, and he's just in there fucking
It was good stuff. He's got a lot of dog in him, Dricus, doesn't he? Like
shitloads
a lot of dog.
Shitloads.
Unbelievable.
All dog.
Loved every second of it.
Yeah.
Just such a fun environment.
Yeah. I love it. Dude, there's actually... Like, in terms of favourite sports to watch, I think it's MMA.
Perth turns it on too, dude.
Yep.
A couple of absolute rippers.
Yep. Now,
so that's what we did on Sunday.
That's what we did. Well, that's what we did on Sunday morning. I then, afterwards, was just like, I'm feeling a bit fucking flat. I might go home for a bit of a rest, try and reload. And
chick, boom.
Chick, boom. And then come back out. I go back to the room, close the eyes at about maybe 2. I then wake up at 12:50 a.m. I have the most fucked up headache I've ever had, like just in recent memory. And I'm like, oh, fuck, what's going on here? Is this like a sickness thing? And then I was getting full body shivers and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this ain't good. Sweaty, cold, shivery, just all over the fucking map. I then call, and so I'm just pounding waters, like I'm emptying the fucking minibar.
And no Panadol?
No Panadol anywhere. So it's ginger ale, juice, water, sparkling water. Like I'm just clearing the fucking thing out.
Just liquiding up.
Just trying to have anything that I can. And I'm in bed and they're just next to me and I'm just like picking whatever one up I can find and just drinking it. I was like moaning. It was so painful. Then I called down to the concierge. And I'm like, guys, you got any Panadol? And they're like, we can't supply any.
Why?
I don't know, because we went to that hotel and they had like fucking Panadols in the room.
That just seems like that was Brisbane. They're a bit more
I guess. I wasn't in any state to start arguing about the laws. So I just had to fucking bite down on the mouth guard. Manly Seagulls in the driving range, Brookvale, 6 p.m. Friday sort of stuff. Bite down the mouth guard and just get through. And then at like 8 in the morning, I just sauntered down to fucking a chemist, and just ever since then, I've just been...
Well, because and then when I tried to get you, like you messaged me, I'm like, what time are you leaving? I said 11. And then you just wouldn't answer. I was banging on your door for like 15 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're like, I passed out again.
I was like, where is this guy?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
got to be in there. And I wasn't hearing any rustling, any movement.
Nah, kid was asleep.
I'm banging. I rang the doorbell 4 or 5 times.
Oh, really?
50 calls. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Did you then get downstairs to call me?
When did... That was the day before. Because we were going to the rugby, and you wouldn't answer your fucking phone. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, this guy's doing my head in. So I had to call the hotel to call your fucking room.
Yeah.
Just constant. I was constantly trying to get onto you and then just not answering.
Listen, I was obviously in the slow descent into illness.
You were.
Credit to me.
But credit
Pseudoed
to
up.
me for like not leaving you there.
Credit to you for not leaving me, but also credit to me for just like getting it together. You know what I mean?
Just powering through.
You just got to power through. Now, once we're done here, I will be chuffing off home, crawling into bed, and then powering off again.
Yep.
Because this well-oiled machine needs some rest. Punters and Dribblers brought to you by 4 Pines Japanese Lager, the tastiest fucking beer in town.
It's absolutely fucking ridiculous how good it tastes.
I didn't like, I mean, you know, you hear Japanese lager, you don't necessarily know what to think. And then
Well,
you have a Japanese lager, you're like, oh, the Japanese have it fucking sorted out.
Well, you say to yourself, where in God's name has this lager been my whole life?
Turning Japanese, I think I'm turning Japanese.
I really think so. And you might be sitting there going, you're talking shit, Tom and Eddie. You're only saying that because you're sponsored by... Incorrect.
Incorrect.
Go and try one, bruh.
Yeah.
Go and have a Japanese lager, 4 pints a dish, and tell me it doesn't fuck the house down.
It does. It fucks the house all the way down. Funnily enough, they're also going to be fucking the house down at Shorty's. They're the main beer sponsor of our golf day at Shorty's.
Of course that, because we only settle up next to the best, baby.
Yeah.
We only settle up next to the best.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so.
4 Pints. You can get it everywhere.
Shout out to Rugby Australia for having us as well. The
Yep.
Black Swan Room, we were wine, dine, 69 punters and dribblers.
Yeah, we
obviously, you might be like, what the fuck were you invited? Because we're big in rugby union.
We're big in rugby union. That's what it is. And sure, we mixing it with Matt Giddo and Adam C. Cooper.
Sure did I meet Joe Roth.
Sure. Did I thank
who-
Joe Roth for his early 2000s work? Yeah, I did. It was actually the first thing I said to him.
Did me and Joe Roth bond over from being from Dubbo?
Yeah.
Joe Roth, Dubbo boy.
Yeah,
That's what
that
he
was
eight.
nice.
That was just 2 Dubbo boys hanging out.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Matt Burke was there. Thanks for your service, Matt.
Didn't see Matt.
Matt was there. Matt was getting around.
I used to do a bit of work with Matt back in the day. I should have gone up and said, "G'day."
Matty Burke
He
getting
wouldn't
around.
have remembered
You know
me.
what I mean? Like, he was there.
Yeah.
Phil War.
Now,
Thanks for your service.
thanks for having us, Phil, CEO
And thanks,
of Australia.
and thanks for your service.
Of course, thanks for your service, but he was there in an official CEO capacity, and that was, how we met him.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to just like shake the hand of the CEO. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
But thank you for having us.
Exactly. It was a big thanks for your service sort of night, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed. You know,
Optus Stadium's got a bit about it.
great stadium.
Yeah.
Great stadium. Fucking terrific. Pouring rain,
Yeah.
which would have been unpleasant, but not for us.
Well, no, we were undercover.
yeah.
I could imagine it would be very unfortunate.
Full house as well.
Full house.
Full house.
Yeah.
Great rugby played at the start. Then you just you come up against
A bunch of animals.
back-to-back world champs.
Yeah.
There was one point, this is the way I would, there was just a lot of, you look at South Africa and you're like, they're men. They're hard motherfucking men. Everyone on the bench for South Africa was sitting in the rain. No jacket on, no umbrellas, no warming device, just sitting there copping it. I'm like, terrifying.
Yeah. The Australians were in basically like human umbrellas.
They were in jackets.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it how it was. They were in jackets.
And they were in like bespoke Land Rover Australia like seats.
Yeah, they look comfortable.
They look
and
very
they didn't look
comfortable.
wet. And then you look over world champs, wet, soaking
Soaked to the bone.
all of them.
We were there with, we then went and kicked on with friends of the show, Luke Bracey and Sam Carter.
World Cup hero.
World Cup hero fame. Karts didn't play, but he was there in an official capacity. And we went and probably annoyed the fuck out of him for a good, honest period of time where we were trying to solve the world's problems with rugby.
He was loving it.
He was loving it.
He messaged the next day, he's loving it.
No, he was loving it. I've got a calendar invite with him set for 6 years' time, whatever the date was on the weekend, 6 years' time, where we reconvene and we discuss whether Australian rugby's back. He thinks it will be.
He's like, mate.
So, well, he said he reckons in 6 years' time it'll be back.
All he reckons is he goes, those boys just need time. That's all they need.
Yeah.
What were some of your solutions?
Listen,
we didn't have heaps. He was the eternal optimist, and it was nice to be around that sort of energy.
Yes.
He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. There was a lot of what are you talking about's going on.
Yeah, there was.
But
fucking good fun.
Yeah.
I like that he's optimistic. I think
Well,
he's
you
great.
got to be, right? Get him on the board, Rugby Australia. What are you doing?
I was listening to him speak. I'm like, this
guy?
bored this guy up.
Yeah, board him up.
Board him up.
Board him up. And that's not like to say board him off from the world.
Get him on the board.
Get him on the board.
You need his passion. You need his nous.
Yeah.
You need his caps.
His enthusiasm.
You need his runs on the board. You need his time in the saddle.
His country sensibilities.
And you need his height and his girth.
Yeah. All really, really positive Sam Carter energy there. We did sit in your room till 6 a.m. drinking minibar Reds, to which point then he realised what the time was.
Yep.
Bracey asleep on the bed. Poor kid just passed out.
And then perked up and walked off.
Dude, he was so funny. He
Like
passed.
he'd had a shower, mate.
He passed out on the bed. And then
Like
we
he
were
was about to go to fuck.
all right, time to get out of here. And then he just wakes straight back up and he's just on.
Look gorgeous again.
Yeah.
Full head of hair, colour,
Yeah.
like beautiful colour.
Yeah.
Perked right up. Good to spend time with nudes soon.
Yeah, it was lovely. Friday, we are going in semi-reverse order here. Friday, we went on to the Backchat podcast live stream, which was fun with Manly in the background, just talking shit. It was a great way to ease into the weekend.
Shout out to Scully.
Shout out to Scully. Shout out to Dan. And Hamish Brayshaw. Former AFL player who's also on the Backchat pod.
Of Brayshaw stock.
Of Brayshaw stock. That was a good leg opener, if you will, to the weekend.
It was just a great 3 days.
Sam Crouch.
Oh,
Shout out to Crouchy.
you might be like, this is just a thank you to her.
Yeah, it is a thank you to her.
Yeah, it is.
And an apology to Crouchy, who was trying to call me off the hook on Sunday, being like, where the fuck are you? What are we doing? And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm going for a lay down. I'll be up and back in a second. And then flash forward 11 hours later.
What do you do?
What do you want me to do?
What can you do?
You can't do anything.
Can't do anything about it.
Cannot do a thing. But it was just a fucking great weekend. Topped off, Eddie, by the fact that the mighty Manly Seagulls get up again. We always expected it to happen, but just solidifying. What are we, 1 win away from an impossible, we're entrenched?
13 plus secured. We thought there was a line through that. And then
we
Garrick
turn it off.
and
And
go at
then,
the end.
yeah, I know.
It's just, where are we? We 5th? 4th?
Yeah, we're
3rd?
sixth on 31 points.
Can we miss the 8?
I think technically, but things have to get, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I think we'd have to lose like all our last.
We'd have to,
few
well, yeah,
games.
we'd have to lose all our games, and other people would like certain teams need to win. But if we win this weekend, I think we're locked in.
I can't do the quick math at the moment.
No, that's
but
okay. That's okay, but I do believe that to
More
be
or
the
less.
case. But I don't. Was there any like massive shit out of the NRL on the weekend? I didn't sort of see it. I know that there's like Trell's got like he's got some sort of shit incoming, like fines and suspensions. And
Yeah, right.
I think they are going to stand him down for like a one game suspension
starting next year.
starting next year. Yeah, because the Roosters have kind of between the saga going on at the moment and his injuries, they've just said kind of stood him down for the year, and it's like take the rest of the year.
But then like so Souths are like amending his contract apparently, where they're like, you fuck up again, you're gone.
They're putting a clause in that
Is
it's
that
like
right?
if you bring the club into disrepute one more time, you're out.
Is that right?
Yeah, because it is funny, right? Like he does all this great work.
And what
off the
define
field.
disrepute?
Well-
is that vague? Like
well,
I'm saying,
like
how was
obviously,
that
listen,
reported?
Well, I mean, I don't exactly know, but like he's a mixed bag, isn't he? Trell, he can play fantastic rugby league. He can also be out of form. He can be great off the field. I think he won the Ken Stevens like community man last year.
Mm-hmm.
Then he can be photographed allegedly ripping them on the front page of the paper.
Mm-hmm.
But you pair that into the fucking Triple M radio interview he did. and some of the bloody ways he gets suspended for playing rugby league. Mm-hmm. I don't think you could say, like, it would not be on-field shit, though. You can't say, oh, like, you fucking elbow someone in the head by accident on the field. Like, you.
No, yeah, okay.
But it'd be, I would imagine it's the off-field shit. Can you just quickly check, Tobler? A dribbler DM'd this to me, but, like, the chicks that are allegedly involved in the Trell party, like, one of them came out. Someone DM'd it to me from, like, the Channel 7 News or Channel 7 Sport. She was like, the only thing I'm guilty of is going out for a bender with my mate.
Yeah, Amy Brown.
Is that her?
Yeah.
The only thing I'm guilty of. But someone put it on Snapchat.
Yeah, I don't know who did that.
She, I believe, is the White Walker. Amy Brown.
Insane. Like, I guess, like, photos can be misleading. That photo of that White Walker, to me, looks like a 60-year-old person.
Light's never thrown me off more. Never. You know what I mean? Like, is that a flash on the side of the head at the right angle?
Yeah,
that makes
what
you
is
look
going
like that's
on
a fucking
make you go
White Walker male?
Yeah, a male White Walker.
Like, we didn't, at no point were we like, that could be a woman.
No.
Given the angle. And
Given what you're seeing. That's not a woman on that photo. It certainly makes you understand a little bit more like, is this a blue dress or a black dress?
But also, I suppose it makes me feel, I get it more. I'm like, if Trell's with like a 70-year-old White Walker, that's just a little more concerning somehow.
Well, it's bizarre. It certainly adds an element of strange to it.
Correct.
So on Sunday night, she came out and she said, I didn't ruin anyone's career. I think it's about time to leak every juicy detail that happened in that room. I'm so sick of everyone making me out to be the bad guy. All I did was go on a bender with my best friend, in brackets, with no regrets. I've been honest from the start and I'll continue to be honest. I've got nothing to hide over all this bullshit.
So she's going to leak every juicy detail.
She's threatened to leak every juicy detail that happened in that room that night.
Why would you do that then? Why wouldn't you just be like, I didn't do anything. Fucking leave me alone.
This is what she's posted on Facebook over the weekend.
Huge, of course, it's on Facebook. I love that. The press release of the Bogan.
And that's on the weekend. So what day is it? Tuesday. I'd imagine some leaks.
Some juicy leaks,
dude. Juicy leaks.
Yeah, she reckons that she was in the room for no longer than an hour.
Fucking hell, there must have been some juice in that hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how much volume are you getting in? Unless you're like, sit down, I'm going to tell you all the juiciest goss I have.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we're in a room for an hour, we're going to do some bags, and then you're going to tell me everything.
I have every right to write this status, but I'm still being criticised. All I did was go to a motel where my friend was because she called me up after a night out. I went there for no longer than an hour and left.
Motel.
I'll see if I can confirm.
What's the motel of choice in Dubbo?
There's heaps of motels.
No, I know, but I mean, like, is
like
there
50
one
motels.
I stayed in a motel in Dubbo.
So many motels.
When I was driving in the outback.
Because it's like people
Trans,
mate.
yeah.
And then you got the zoo, you got the old Dubbo jail, mate. You got a lot going on there. It's also like halfway between Brisbane and Melbourne, so you get a lot of traction too. So I can't, and I also have never stayed in a motel in Dubbo. Shock.
No, that would be a little bit.
So I don't have a real list of
Dubbo motel
favourite motels in Dubbo. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, do they have hotels in Dubbo or is it all motels?
No, all motels.
All motels. Yeah.
Mate, the closest you might get to a hotel is staying at the zoo in like Lux camping. I think it looks pretty good.
Really? The zoo is Dubbo's best accommodation.
There's like varying forms of accommodation at the zoo. One of them's nice, the rest is just their motels. It's just they are what they are.
That's funny, dude. Yeah, you sleep in the lion enclosure.
So regarding Trell's contract, Buzz Rothfield's reported that they're going to have a meeting, like Trell's going to meet with the power brokers this week. And Buzz is saying that Souths are over it. He's on $1.2 million a year, and from what I understand, they're going to say to him, we want an ironclad guarantee this is all going to stop. To make it stop, they're prepared to go as far as putting behavioural clauses in his contract. So in other words, if he does step out of line and bring the game into disrepute, as this photo has, then it's ta-ta.
It's interesting because he gets scrutinised way harder, but he also gets away with more, I feel. That's just a vibe check. I feel like because he gets scrutinised harder, sometimes I think people like bring that up as a way to be like, oh, well, like he's under a fuckload of pressure, and you're like, well, that is true, but it also doesn't change the fact that like he puts himself under pressure.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Interesting though. I hadn't considered how South would view that. You know what I'm saying?
Him allegedly ripping on the front page of the Telegraph.
It never crossed my mind for them to be like, one more chance, bro.
Yeah, we're sick of this shit.
Yeah. I suppose because he's such a superstar, you're like, they can just sort of get away with whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, but no superstar currently, I think, is acting like that.
Last,
Who's the other superstar who behaves like that?
Name the last superstar that was cut.
That's a good question.
You know what I'm
It's
trying to say?
usually
Like,
Canberra.
it doesn't really happen.
It's usually Canberra cutting superstars, and then they just go to the Roosters and win Dally M's and fucking rip.
Yeah. They fuck it up. Everyone's like, oh, you want to get rid of him? We'll take him. And they just like...
Not even you want to, they have to. Because it's like, well, we've got to set some standards. And they're like, yeah, well, I'm out. But you're right, though. I couldn't even think of who the last superstar to get cut would be. Maybe a Todd Carney. Punters and Dribblers, sorry, it's a bit of a short one, but also not sorry, but a little sorry.
Unfortunately, got things on.
We got some shit we have to do, families to attend to on
That's
this.
pretty much what...
That's exactly what it is. So we will see you on Thursday with the great and powerful Jess Fox.
Yep. And then we'll see you Thursday night. If you're going to Shorties, it is sold out.
It is sold out.
Which is great.
Shout out to all the brave souls who are coming to the Shorties Golf Day on Thursday. Pumped for that. But we then also will be doing the live stream Thursday night, which you'll be able to tune into on the Hello Sport YouTube. Us, Beaver Menzies, Ronnie Blakey, maybe a rotating crew. We'll see how we go. We'll see you then.
Shout out to the punter and dribbler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, thanks for just letting us off on this one.
Yeah.
You know? Don't Masood me. I'm just
not in the mood for a Masood.
Not in the mood for a Masood.
Not in the mood for a Masood.
Just give me it. Just give me a fucking pass mark, punters.
Yeah.
Just give me a pass mark.
Yeah.
Don't Masood me.
Don't Masood us,
Not
dude.
in the mood.
You know what you do?
Also, we do too much for you. All that Olympics content that's free. Like
We've earned a Masood free.
I've earned an hour off.
You just go. You know what, boys? Better be back to normal next week.
Yeah, it won't be because I'm away.
Well, I'll be back with someone.
But again, it's just we've given you too much.
No. Don't Masood us.
Don't Masood me.
Love you.
Just don't.
Love you.
Bye.
Could you two just not talk anymore?